G'day, my name's Gav, and today I have with me Jim Campion from Farum and also Christian Rosa from Farum. Today we're going to start talking about last week's rounds, which was Helsingborg versus the Crocs and also Malmö versus Jutland, or Julin as we can say. Jim, you were there at the games, and what are your thoughts about what you saw?
Yes, I was fortunate enough to umpire the two matches, Gav, and two very interesting matches. We saw the Crocs and the Helsingborg Saints play the first match, and two different styles, two different teams, and we saw Crocs with the maturity policy, and they've held with the same list in the last 8 years, and it seemed to pay off. Whereas the Helsingborg boys, a lot of young Saints, young Swedes, a lot of youth, enthusiasm and energy, and
sorry, Jim, just cut in there. We mean youth. There are a lot of players under the age of 20 or 25.
Yeah, well, I don't know how young they were, but there was a lot of run and a lot of energy, and they simply ran the legs off the Crocs, and pretty one-sided affair in the end.
Okay, well, that's great. Sounds great for the Saints.
It's a promising future. I think Christian Rosa, who's played at Farum for about 8 years now, he'll sort of confirm that he's played against Sweden, that team, for about the last 8 years. They've struggled for a lot of years, haven't they, Rosie?
Yeah, they have, but it seems like it's getting better and better. I remember when I started with Farum, it was pretty much the same situation. A lot of new players, and it took a couple of years to get on top, and look what happened. We've got a pretty good team now in Farum, and it's a lot of young Danes, and they just keep pushing, and Helsingborg, the same thing will happen there. They will get on top with a lot of young Swedes and a future ahead of them.
So you think they've got the potential to keep going forward and develop into a strong and maybe one of the leading teams in DAFL over the next couple of years?
It's hard to say what will happen, but yeah, I think they should just keep pushing, and hopefully it will happen. I see the potential there. Yeah.
They've had a couple of local wins, and they won against Göteborg in an internal match, and they've won the first two matches this year, so things are looking pretty bright. And you've got guys like Hampus Olsen, Tobias Stuhl, and Emil Olberg playing very well. They look very impressive. So it's good to see them, because they've got no Australian coach down there, and the job they're doing is fantastic. And they've never had a lot of Australians, as the other DAFL clubs have had. So it's a credit to the team, and how they've held on all these years after being sort of belted mercifully over the last 8 or so years, and they've held on. Now they're finally seeing the success they've deserved. It's good to see Joachim Olin nearing the pension age, and he's still playing well, and still got the ability to influence the match, and he's done very well. Delighted to see him playing down there. Standouts for the Croc was Brian Devella, and the old guard Jesper Hebjorn and Anders Frank also played well. They were without Troels Sidderholm, unfortunately, who would have made a big difference, but in the end the Saints ran over the Crocs, and they won easy winners, and I think they won by about 80 points in the end, 70 points, but it was a pretty one-sided affair, which is a bit unfortunate.
You mentioned Anders Frank. He's been around DAFL for a long time now, and he's a bit of a hardener. So how's he still playing these days? Like, he still goes in hard and has a good hard crack?
Yeah, Anders goes in hard. Maybe goes in too hard sometimes, and maybe argues a bit much with the umpire, and apparently the umpire wasn't too happy with his comments on the day. But
I think we've all argued with the umpire, Jimmy, haven't we, now and again?
Not me, mate. I'm probably the exception there, Gav. I'm probably the exception there, mate.
Maybe. So,
the other game was Malmö versus Jutland, and there we were looking forward to big things from one Morten Ensberg, but that didn't eventuate, unfortunately. I actually pitch slapped there for about 4 quarters, and they did miss David Harrop, their gun Australian, but they were more than replaced by the gun GFL icon, Reece Bennett from Colac, current fullback for Colac, but even Reece couldn't stem the tide, and the wave of attacks from Malmö there was just relentless, and they ran out easy winners by first quarter was all over actually. I must say that we witnessed the first round of Malmö, and they looked fat, tired and ugly, and the 2 weeks transposed a totally different team there. I mean, I think Daniel's lost at least one tie from his mid-drift, and I don't know what they've done, but against Barracudas in the first round I saw, there was nothing there, but they totally ran over them. They looked very efficient and very professional. I don't know, you didn't see them in the second, but they feel like they were suffering from a premiership hangover there for the first.
Yeah, they looked a little tired the first game. They didn't look prepared, but yeah, I didn't saw this game. But as you say, it's always a good match against the Malmö. So they're coming. So.
But I think Malmö deserved the win though. I think it was 70 points as well. So 2 one-sided affairs with the Swedes coming out on top. And I must say that Kasper Holm and Jens Jens and Morten Ensbu played pretty well that day. The usuals from Malmö, McClare and Simon Ward, Matt McMahon did pretty well.
I think Jutland might, come around, win a couple more rounds and get a couple of wins on the board and be happy days.
And it's important as well for the national side that they those young guys like we need Jan and Cern and Johan, they develop themselves, and we need them to develop for our national team. But the work they're doing is pretty good, and those young guys they're green, but they just need to keep working, and it looks good in the future for them because they're a young side. So in that aspect, it was pretty good.